I'm Matt. We're at a new construction site today. We've been here before, so you'll recognize this one. This is the subdivision that someone I know is putting in. Sanitary sewer. This was just an open field when they bought it, and they did all engineering. They put the road in, put the sewer in. In fact, we're going to do a lesson on this, how to build a subdivision, and go through all the stuff that needs to be done to accomplish this. You see, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. I see they've done the rough electric. Here's the boxes. That's for GFI. See, they leave them hanging like that because there's going to be some brick put on here. See the brick ledge? That's the brick ledge. That's what the brick sits on. Like I said, this is for a GFI box. It's got a little nipple on the back. That'll be mounted on here somewhere. They'll decide. They always leave the wire hanging long like that. I used to do electrical work, and this is exactly what we used to do. We know this is a 14-2 wire because it's white and not yellow. See the wire hanging out up there for the porch lights? See, it comes in, there's two there because it comes in from a switch somewhere. It comes in and goes back out and goes to this other light and then stops there. That's why there's one wire hanging there. Oh yeah. See how deep this is for the porch here. See how deep this is? This is why porches don't settle away from the house anymore. Like in the olden days, the basement foundation would be 8 feet in the ground or whatever, and then the porch would be maybe 42 inches if you're lucky. This one's as deep as the basement is, so you're not going to have a rotation issue with the porch settling away from the house. Inside here, kind of messy. Anyway, let's take a little tour of the mechanicals. This is a ranch house. So the ductwork, the furnace is going to be in the basement. The ductwork comes up from the basement. One by the hallway. This looks like a laundry room. There's the rough end for the laundry. Here's the water coming in. There's the drain for the washing machine. This is a 20 amp wire, 12 gauge, 12-2. There's actually 3 wires in there. They call it 12-2 because it's a hot and a neutral, then the ground. But you can tell because it's yellow. And here's the rough end for the laundry tub. Wire going up alongside the, oh boy, I've never seen those before. That must be a new wrinkle. Oh, you got a lot of wires there, that's probably why. We would usually just do like 3 wires under one staple and then put another set of 3 going up, but they got, looks like they got these new clamps here. You see how they come into the box? These little, you knock these out in the back and then pull the wire in there. And that's all that holds it in. In the old metal boxes, there'd be a little screw in there and you'd tighten it down and it would hold the wire in there. Nice job, look at that. So the wire runs all over the house. Well, what do you think this is here? This is the kitchen. Sink. This is for a heat run in the toe kick, I think. What is that? I don't know what that is. It's not hooked up to anything. I think when they install it, maybe they just haven't put it in yet. When they install it, it goes in like that. So the duct comes into it where my hand is from the basement, and then comes out underneath the kitchen cabinet for a toe kick vent register. the service panel's probably right there. That looks like the home runs right there, we'd call them. Rough in for microwave. You could tell this is the kitchen because the plugs are all up high. They're countertop high. We'd go, when they rough it in, we'd go around with a marker and, you know, just make a tick mark like that, and that's where your boxes go. For the lower ones, we used to mark our hammers. We'd put a piece of tape on our hammer and then hold it up here and then, you know, mark it, or just nail the box up. Fireplace. Plug and cable wire for TV over the fireplace. That's the way everybody does it now. Wire ran through perfectly straight. We drill this out with a big bit, big giant auger bit. And what is that blue wire? I was going to say anything because I don't want to say, oh, I don't know what this blue wire is. Is that 3 conductor? Is that what that is? I think that's what that is. I haven't seen it like that before. It used to be white when I was doing it. And it was round. Now it's more like regular Romex wire. But you can tell there's a 3 conductor in here because I see the red wire. So there's a hot and a neutral, and then a red wire is the traveler. So you can turn the light on from different locations. We call that, lay people call that a 2-way switch. Electricians call it a 3-way switch because of the 3 conductors that are in there. And then sometimes you have a 4-way switch. So like if you got a light at each end, light switch at each end of the hallway, then maybe one in the middle where there's a bedroom in the middle, then you have a 4-way switch in a situation like that. This is flex ductwork. That's what they're using now. Oh, there's the rest of his boxes. He's not done yet, I guess. Rough in for a bathroom. Put some tile up there, I guess. They put down this, what's this one called? 40 mil PVC. And then they'll put some cement board and tile over that. See how this is packs in here, and then they use hard pipe coming out the wall. It makes it a little sturdier. Same down here for the faucet. That's a heavy-duty light fixture there. It'd be like a light hanging there. That's just for more weight. It's not one of those little plastic blue boxes like that. That's just for a regular little light fixture. That's for a big light fixture, and sometimes for ceiling fans, but I'm sure that they're not putting a ceiling fan here in the entryway. But I guess you can use them for both. These are recessed cans. And then that is a plastic ceiling fan prep, I think. We never used them like that, but I'm pretty sure that's what those are. I've seen those in the store. So that's, you know, for the extra weight and the vibration of the ceiling fan. Attaches right to that 2x4. See how the electrical wire lays on top of the rafter, or the truss there? Oh, and he's got his little, see that wire hanging there? That's where he had a spinner. You have a wire spinner. And you put your rolls of wire on there and you pull it off and it comes off nice and straight. That's where he had a spinner hanging. That's a fan prep there. They call it a fart fan in the business. This is the bathroom right here, of course. There's the sink. There's where the toilet goes over there. It's a flange for the toilet. So everything's roughed in here now. So at this stage of the game, what's going to happen is someone's going to come in and sweep all this up, get it clean, and they're going to do the insulation all the walls. So you got 2x6 exterior walls now. Everybody went to 2x6. It's too hard to try and meet the energy code with a 2x4 wall anymore. So they're all 2x6 here in Michigan. There's a shower prep. Again, it's that 40 mil PVC. There's the drain. It's raised up off the floor a bit. How do you get in there? Here we go. It's raised up off the floor because you're going to put, tile in here and cement bed, mortar bed. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. They might put a pan in here. I don't know. I don't think they put the PVC liner in for pans, though. This looks like it's going to be tile to me. And these have a little overflow in them. There's holes in there in case water gets under the tile and on top of here. There's little weep holes in there so the water can still get into the drain out of here and go into there. I think that's one right there. So when you're a home inspector, if you see efflorescence on top of the tile, like in the mortar joints and things, I've been told by guys in the business that water's getting under the between the tile and this PVC, and that's why you get the efflorescence, because the drains are plugged up. They said the drains aren't plugging, because if the drains were working, you wouldn't get the efflorescence. Toilet, sink, soil pipe, breather stack, soil pipe going through the roof. Yeah, see, ceiling fan fixture box. That's the one in the hallway there, I'm pretty sure. No, it's this one. I think that's the same box as I pointed out in the hallway, though. It's just a heavy-duty box. Oh, the cold air returns. Cold air return. So on the supply lines, you have this metal. The cold air returns don't have that. They just come up between the wall. They're actually going to be up there. That's what the little plastic frames are for. The cold air return is going to be up there. And that takes the air back to the furnace.